What the? Oh, man. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out another video, guys. I really appreciate that. Make sure you hit that like button. Takes a second. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And definitely hit that notification bell so you know when I post new videos. So today I'm going to be talking about preserving your precious metals. Now, there's a lot of videos on this topic. Storage, how to storage your metals, and really good ones at that. I'm going to pitch this to you guys a little bit different. I want to tell you guys when it's important and when it's not important to preserve your metals or spend the extra money to preserve your metals. I want to give you guys a little bit of kind of like a mentality, a way to think about preserving your silver, especially when it's important, when it's not. I mean, you could really affect your dollar cost averaging if you start encapsulating all your silver. So we're going to go over that in this video. But let's talk about gold for a second. Make sure you hang around until the silver portion. That's a very important portion. But I do want to touch on gold for just a second. So with gold, as you guys know, gold does not tarnish. So you can leave this coin out on the dresser, on whatever, for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it won't do anything to the coin as far as tarnishing or anything like that. Now, these 90% gold coins, this is 90% gold. If you handle them enough, you can actually start to wear them down. And if your hands are dirty, you can actually start getting a buildup of dirt around the imprint on the coin. So right in between these nice, beautiful details, you can start building up some nasty black muck. And it's really unattractive. Now, I personally, this is where the preference part comes in. With gold, it's all about preference, not really a necessity to put anything in capsules. That's my opinion. I personally like to have them in these little capsules. They look cool when they're all spread out, and it does protect the coin at the end of the day. If you were to drop any of these coins, they will dent. So you want to make sure that they're at least in these capsules. Another tip, if you are going to spend money on capsules, whether it's gold or silver, spend the extra on acrylic plastic, non-yellowing, scratch resistant. Trust me, you can actually damage the coin even more with certain capsules. So you want to make sure you're spending money on these capsules that are actually going to help rather than make the coin worse or damage the coin. So spend the extra money on acrylic plastic. Trust me. Another thing, if you were to drop this, for sure, gold is very soft. I've dropped a bigger piece of silver and it dented. So with gold, this is 4.9 gold. If you were to drop this, it would dent. So if you are clumsy and you like to mess around with your stuff, it might be a good idea to put it in a capsule. But absolutely, you can leave it in this coin flip that it came in. If you don't want to spend the money, you could just leave it like that. It will not hurt the coin. It won't do anything, you know? And you don't want to be handling these barehanded too much. For the same reason as these, you can get that nasty black muck that starts building up little by little. If you plan on having these coins for a long time and you handle them a lot, trust me, that little bit of black will start to accumulate in those little cracks and crevices on the coin. So I would suggest definitely washing your hands before handling any of it. And don't handle the softer ones too much because you can actually start to wear the coin down. It could happen. Now silver. This is where it gets complicated. Gold's really easy. Gold, you pretty much buy it. You can let it sit. I mean, whatever it comes in, you just put it there. It's all about preference. Silver, you're actually forced to kind of do something. You got to make a decision. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to go over all this stuff here. So make sure you hang. This is a 10-ounce bar. You've probably seen these out of the plastic. I collect a lot of these 10-ounce bars. I love the 10-ounce bars. I've never cut them out of the plastic. If you were to go on eBay, you're going to notice that you will probably see the ones out of the plastic that have started to tone are not selling as fast as the ones that are still in the plastic. You got to remember, even though you don't care if the bar tones or it gets black or it starts looking old, a lot of people do. And the whole point of silver is to be able to sell it at some point, I hope, right? Now, if you're passing it down to your kids, that's a different story. They got to deal with the tarnish, and they're getting it free. So if it's all tarnished, they better just enjoy it. It's free. But if you plan on selling it, you want your silver to be the most attractive silver that is available. If someone were to find my 10-ounce bar that is listed right next to another one that is out of the plastic and has all this toning going on, they're going to buy mine. I can actually sell it for a couple bucks extra. People will pay the extra to have it like this rather than tarnished. Now, there's certain silver that doesn't matter, like this. This has a finish, like a satin finish. I've left this out. This has never been in plastic. And look, it's not tarnishing at all because of this finish. And I handle this all the time. So if you want to handle your silver, make sure you're, there's certain silver that you should handle and there's certain silver you shouldn't. This one is one that who cares? It's not going to turn. And even if it did, you just hit it with some baking soda and then you could sell it. It won't do nothing. This is generic silver. And the same goes for these. So I had these in plastic trying to prevent the tarnishing. I've given up. I have too many and it's gotten difficult. So now I just have them free. These are the same thing. You see how shiny these are? People want that shininess. They don't want a tarnished, nasty looking bar of silver. The ones that do are buying vintage silver. You want to attract as many buyers as possible. This is the way you got to look at it. If you're selling a tarnished bar, you're losing probably about half your buyers because more than half of the people don't want tarnished bars. So you want to make sure that you're preserving certain types of silver. Now, my plan for this, there's absolutely nothing wrong with hitting this with some baking soda should it tarnish. But the key is to make sure that it's not too tarnished, because what will happen then? You're going to get nasty black little outlines in all the little crevices that is not going to come out. It's very unattractive, and you're going to have to hit it with the baking soda a million times to get in those little divots and cracks. So you actually want to do it every so often if you want to preserve this silver. Does not decrease the value. Make sure you're not using anything abrasive. Make sure you're being very soft with the baking soda. You can even drop it in baking soda and just kind of let it sit and move it around a little bit. I don't recommend using the boiled water and tin foil because that actually takes away some of the luster. Whereas if you're doing it with cold water and kind of rubbing it by hand, you're not taking away that luster. There's a big difference, trust me, which I might do a video on the damage of both of those, hot water versus the cold. So, but you could definitely hit this with baking soda, make it look really nice. And then you got stuff like this. So this is how I started the video. This is what I mean. So this is very unattractive. I mean, if I'm trying to sell this alongside somebody that's selling beautiful ones that have no tarnish whatsoever, I'm gonna have trouble because, I mean, that is not an attractive thing. And that's one of the worst parts about silver is the tarnishing aspect. But these are a little bit more collectible, so I'm a little more reluctant about hitting these with baking soda. So I got to figure out what to do with these. But that's an example of not preserving your silver the right way. So Bullion exchanges put these in here, don't fit. I never did anything to correct it. And over time, you got this nasty toning going on, just like that. And it's even worse because it's just a little piece of the bar. Some people won't care. They'll still pay for it. It's still silver. But like I said, these are a little bit more collectible. So the majority of the people that would want these are not going to want that semi-tarnished bar. They'd rather spend the extra and get a nice, bright, beautiful, shiny one with no tarnish. Another thing, not all plastic bags are created equal. This is a really thick plastic bag. Now this one, you seal this up, will preserve a lot better than a flimsy plastic. You gotta feel the plastic bags. If you're storing in here and you have those flimsy ones, believe it or not, air will still get in. Trust me. Make sure that if you have something that is loose, for an example, this will be a prime candidate to go in that kind of bag right there, because it's a heavy plastic. You get what I'm saying? So make sure you're checking on that. It does matter. Wanted to throw that little thing in there for you guys. All right, what else we got? Let's get this out of the way. Eagles and any other government-backed, same deal. You don't want these tarnishing, but you also don't want to go and encapsulate every single eagle. So I would suggest this. That's it. Even if you're not going to buy 20, buy this. It's $1.20. And if you do want to stack eagles little by little, you could do it. You just throw them in here. Who cares if they're not all the same date? But if you were to encapsulate every single eagle, you are going to spend twice as much, maybe even, actually I shouldn't even say that, probably 5 times as much than if you were to just buy this and just keep them like that. And that's it. And especially if you put them in capsules, they're big capsules, 44 millimeter coins we're talking about. You got to buy a bigger tube, or you got to have them all loose. So for storage space, just throw them in one of these tubes and that's it. Call it a day. Even if you're not going to fill it up, like I said. Which brings me to my next point. Any coins, most of them, I'm going to say like 98% of coins that you buy that are worth putting in a capsule will come in capsules already. Like these, I did not buy these capsules. I don't buy capsules. I rarely buy capsules. These came in capsules. So once again, anything worth putting in capsules will already be in capsules. There you go. That's a little tip right there. Don't spend the extra money on capsules, guys. Trust me. Even if they're semi-numismatic and they're collectible and you think they're going to go up in value, throw them in a plastic bag or a coin flip and try and preserve it. Put it in a coin flip and then a plastic bag. But don't spend the extra money on the capsules. You start doing that with all your silver, your dollar cost averaging is going to get beat up. I'm telling you. Don't do it. You can even buy one of these and start throwing them in there. That'll preserve them. That'll stop them from turning tarnishing. So you could even do that. But once again, anything worth encapsulating should already come encapsulated. Just like the Royal Fortune, just like the Queen's Anne, just like the pandas, just like these beautiful triangle coins, anything that is worth it should already be encapsulated for you. All right? Another side note to that, if you're buying privately, there's a good chance or a possible chance that the seller has taken the coin out of the plastic, out of the capsule, and probably used it on another coin that he's going to keep or they're going to keep and sold you it in a coin flip. In that case, you might want to get a capsule if they normally come in a capsule. Just letting you know. All right, and this is the final little thing. This is a little test right here on you guys. Let me see if I set this up the right way. But this is the point I want to make on. I'm just going to get a couple here. Let's see. We'll do it like that. I thought I had these separated by the nice quarters with the other quarters, but I guess not. But anyways, if you were shopping around for Constitutional and there was a picture of quarters like this, let me get in there for you guys right here. Don't mind the cat here and the lint. Not for sale. All right. If you were to get in there, all right, these aren't the greatest. I have better ones, but let's just say we're comparing this quarter with this quarter, right? And it's a whole roll of them that are basically like this. So you got a bunch of them that have this kind of quality and a bunch at this quality, and they're selling competitively. Which one are you going to buy? More than likely, you would spend a little bit extra to buy these. But guess what? These are exactly the same grade quarters. The difference? Guess what it is? I hit some of them with baking soda to do a test. So I clean these quarters to get them like the way they are. I don't think this is the batch. I think I grabbed the wrong one. But regardless, these are shiny. I have a batch of quarters, and I did a test on this, guys, and sold them. And guess what? They sold for more compared to the quarters I left alone like this. Side note to that, make sure you are checking the quarters, the mint marks, the dates, that they are not collectible, because in that point, you're ruining the quarter. But if you're doing it for the sake of making them look nicer, more appealing to the seller, offering better quality quarters basically, even though all you've done is clean them to make them look nice, bringing out the true luster that is hidden behind this nasty tarnish and grime that, this is pretty much what I was saying about the gold. This is what will happen too. If your hands are dirty, you go touching it, it'll start getting stuck in those little divots and cracks between the coin. Same deal. But this is also tarnish. So it's really easy to do. I have a video on it. Baking soda and water. And I'm telling you, I have sold the quarters for more because they are nicely cleaned and polished and beautiful. Doesn't damage the coin the way I do it. But if they are collectors, then yes, you're losing value because they are collectors. You do not want to clean anything that is collector because of something called patina, which I'll do a whole nother video on that. I'm not going to get into that here. But the point is, for those of you that are new, do not clean coins unless you know it is not a collector's coin. These are regular, standard, 90% silver quarters. And they sell for more if you hit them with some baking soda. There you go. Little trick of the trade. But yeah, you got to really think about it, guys. If you were shopping around, which lot of quarters are you going to buy? These or these? Which one? You tell me. Anyways, guys, just a quick video. Well, not really, 15 minutes, but I hope it helps. And those are a couple little tricks and tips I've learned over the years and a little bit of advice along the way. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will talk to you guys later.